The Sith, with their philosophy rooted in the pursuit of power, have birthed some of the galaxy's most formidable figures. Choosing from the Old Republic and Darth Vader's era yields a roster of dark side masters whose abilities have shaped the galaxy in profound and destructive ways. Each Sith Lord on this list exemplifies the raw, unrelenting pursuit of dominance and mastery over the Force. Darth Sidious, the mastermind of the Galactic Empire, stands as a towering figure of the Sith's ambitions. His unparalleled cunning, mastery of the Force, and political manipulation allowed him to orchestrate the fall of the Jedi Order and the rise of the Empire. Sidious's understanding of the dark side was unmatched as he delved into ancient Sith knowledge while mastering destructive powers, such as Force lightning to lethal perfection. His influence extended far beyond his personal might as he corrupted Anakin Skywalker into Darth Vader, thereby ensuring his legacy and domination. Sidious was a planner, but his raw combat skills were equally terrifying, evidenced by his duel with Yoda on Coruscant. Darth Vader, Sidious's apprentice, is another name synonymous with Sith power. Born Anakin Skywalker, his transformation into Vader was marked by a blend of immense physical prowess, devastating combat skills, and an overwhelming connection to the dark side. Despite the loss of much of his organic body, which limited his mobility, Vader's cybernetic enhancements turned him into a near indestructible force. His mastery of the Force allowed him to crush enemies with telekinesis, while his lightsaber skills remained unparalleled. Vader's relentless determination and loyalty to the Sith cause ensured his reputation as one of the most feared beings in the galaxy. The Old Republic era also produced Sith Lords of monumental power, such as Darth Revan. Originally a Jedi Knight, Revan's fall to the dark side was as significant as his return to the light. While aligned with the Sith, his genius-level strategic mind and potent connection to the Force made him a nearly unstoppable foe. Revan wielded both light and dark side techniques with equal efficiency, making him unpredictable and dangerous. His combat abilities and sheer command of the battlefield cemented his place as a legend among both Sith and Jedi. Revan's successor, Darth Malak, was another Sith Lord whose strength and ruthlessness defined his time. As Revan's apprentice, Malak learned much about strategy and power, but he took a more brutal approach. After betraying Revan, Malak seized control of the Sith Empire, leading devastating campaigns against the Republic. His ability to draw on the dark side for raw destructive power was immense, and his willingness to sacrifice anything for victory made him one of the most feared Sith Lords in history. His physical size and combat ability made him a juggernaut, and his leadership brought the Republic to its knees. From the ancient era comes Darth Nihilus, a Sith Lord of unparalleled destructive capacity. Nihilus was not merely a wielder of the dark side, he embodied it. Following the devastation of Malachor V, Nihilus became a wound in the Force, driven by an insatiable hunger to consume life. This made him less a man and more a force of nature, draining entire planets of life to feed his power. His presence in the galaxy represented an existential threat to all living beings, and his lack of human desires or morality made him a pure representation of the Sith's darkest potential. Another figure from the ancient times, Darth Bane, is remembered not just for his personal power, but for reshaping the Sith philosophy. Bane's introduction of the Rule of Two ensured the survival and growth of the Sith in secrecy after their near annihilation. This rule, which stated there would only ever be one master and one apprentice, allowed the Sith to grow stronger in the shadows, each generation honing their power further. Bane's strength in the Force was immense, and his intellect ensured his place as one of the most pivotal figures in Sith history. His ability to wield Force energy, especially with the destructive ritual known as the Thought Bomb, displayed the extent of his dark side mastery. The Sith Lord Darth Plagueis, Sidious's own master, was another monumental figure whose experiments with the Force pushed the boundaries of what was considered possible. Plagueis's obsession with immortality and his ability to manipulate midichlorians to create life or prevent death highlighted his unparalleled understanding of the Force's mystical aspects. While his physical combat prowess is less documented, his mastery over the metaphysical side of the Force gave him a power that few could rival. However, his downfall at the hands of his apprentice, Darth Sidious, serves as a reminder of the dangers inherent in the Sith tradition of betrayal. Darth Sion, another of the Sith triumvirate during the Old Republic era, personified the Sith philosophy of pain and perseverance. His unique ability to sustain his decayed body through sheer willpower and his connection to the dark side made him nearly unkillable. Every wound he sustained only fueled his strength, making him a terrifying figure in combat. Despite his immense power, Xian's torment highlighted the price of Sith mastery, as his existence was one of unending suffering. In the ranks of the Sith, strength often lies in the ability to manipulate and destroy on a scale far beyond personal combat. Darth Traya, also known as Krya, represents this kind of cerebral power. A master of both philosophy and the Force, Traya sought to understand the intricacies of the galaxy and manipulate it to her will. Her deep knowledge of the Force allowed her to influence events on a galactic scale, and her teachings shaped some of the most pivotal figures of her time. Traya's philosophical perspective on the Force made her a unique and dangerous Sith Lord. Darth Maul, though often overshadowed by the monumental figures of Sidious and Vader, was a powerhouse in his own right. His hatred and raw combat skill turned him into a weapon of destruction. Maul's agility and prowess with his double-bladed lightsaber were unmatched, and his survival after being cut in half by Obi-Wan Kenobi showcased his tenacity. While he lacked the political cunning of his master, Maul's presence on the battlefield was enough to turn the tide of any conflict. Each of these Sith Lords stands as a testament to the dark side's allure and the power it can bestow. Their legacies, marked by destruction and domination, continue to echo through the galaxy's history. Among the Sith, there exist a few individuals whose power and influence elevate them to a level that feels almost godlike, transcending the scope of traditional Sith Lords. Valkorion, also known as the Sith Emperor or Emperor Vitiate, stands as a prime example of such a being. His mastery of the Force, his control over vast empires, and his manipulation of life and death itself place him in a class of his own beyond even the most powerful Sith Lords. Valkorion's story begins in the Old Republic era as Tenebrae, born with an unparalleled connection to the Force. From an early age, he displayed abilities that surpassed those of even the most seasoned Sith, demonstrating not only raw power but also an unnatural longevity. Tenebrae's transformation into Vitiate marked the beginning of his ascension to an almost divine status. As the Sith Emperor, his ability to dominate and manipulate others went far beyond conventional Sith teachings. Vitiate didn't merely wield the dark side, he became a conduit for it on an unprecedented scale. One of the most terrifying aspects of Vitiate's power was his mastery of essence transfer and immortality. By consuming the lives of entire worlds, he extended his life indefinitely, effectively making him immortal. The destruction of Nathema, a planet he drained of all life, stands as a chilling testament to his capability. Unlike most Sith, whose ambitions are limited to their immediate surroundings or galactic conquests, Vitiate's aspirations stretched across millennia. He didn't just seek to dominate the galaxy, he aimed to transcend existence itself, erasing the material world to reshape it according to his vision. As Valkorion, he evolved even further, assuming the role of the Eternal Emperor and creating the Eternal Empire in wild space. In this incarnation, he abandoned the traditional trappings of the Sith, embodying a more detached and enigmatic persona. Valkorion's rule over the Eternal Empire was marked by his ability to manipulate even the most powerful individuals into serving his designs. He orchestrated events with such precision that even those who opposed him often played directly into his hands. His charisma and intelligence, combined with his overwhelming Force mastery, allowed him to remain several steps ahead of his adversaries at all times. What sets Valkorion apart from other Sith Lords is not just his power, but his scope. While many Sith Lords focused on galactic domination or personal vengeance, Valkorion fought on a cosmic scale. His influence spanned thousands of years, countless star systems, and multiple incarnations. His ability to create and maintain the Eternal Empire demonstrated a strategic mind unparalleled among Sith, blending brute strength with an understanding of politics, technology, and philosophy that far exceeded his peers. Another aspect that places Valkorion in a class of his own is his relationship with the Force itself. His connection to the dark side was so profound that he could twist and manipulate it in ways that defied conventional understanding. Yet, unlike other Sith who were consumed by their passions, Valkorion's use of the dark side was often cold, calculated, and detached. He didn't act out of rage or hatred, but rather saw the Force as a tool to achieve his ultimate ends. This level of control made him a unique figure in Sith history, one whose power was tempered by patience and a long-term vision. However, Valkorion's godlike power also made him profoundly alien. He operated on a level that made him incomprehensible to most, even among the Sith. His ability to split his essence, project himself across vast distances, and sustain multiple avatars made him feel less like a mortal being and more like a Force entity. This detachment from humanity, while granting him unparalleled power, also made him vulnerable. His inability to truly connect with others or understand their emotions ultimately led to his downfall, as his children and other powerful Force users banded together to destroy him. In the pantheon of Sith, Valkorion occupies a singular space, a being who blurred the line between mortal and God. His power, ambition, and intellect reshaped the galaxy in ways that few could match, and his legacy endures as a symbol of what the dark side can achieve when wielded without restraint or limitation. While figures like Darth Sidious and Darth Vader defined eras of galactic history, Valkorion's influence spanned millennia, making him not just a Sith Lord, but a force unto himself.